We're going to rank all the shields at their max level for a fair comparison. Any additional abilities or skills obtained through glitches or exploits will not be included in this ranking. Before we begin, enjoy a short piece of music I composed. Number 6. Onslaught Shield. I decided to place this shield at number 6 on the list. I know this decision might not sit well with some players, but in its base form, this shield doesn't offer many unique features. By double tapping L1, you can activate the shield, and the farther you charge it before impact, the stronger it becomes. However, if you use it too soon at close range, the attack will be weaker. At extremely long distances, though, the charged attack might completely miss the target. Advantages. It is the most aggressive shield in the game for chasing enemies while also protecting you from their projectiles. However, while this is useful, simply dodging in a zigzag pattern can also help you avoid projectiles without relying on the shield. Due to its tracking nature, it works well for shield strikes against bosses. Increases the LCK stat. Launches enemies into the air, whether they are alone or in groups. This allows you to follow up with weapon attacks mid-air, but considering that most weapons have built-in combos for juggling enemies, this isn't a particularly special feature. While rushing toward enemies with a charged shield attack, you can simultaneously activate the Leviathan Axe's freezing effect, making the combo quite effective. Disadvantages. No bonus for perfect parries. Unlike some other shields, this one does not reward players with additional damage when they successfully perform a perfect parry. Cannot reflect projectiles. Even if you parry an incoming projectile, you won't be able to send it back at your enemies. Slow startup frames. The shield takes a bit of time to activate, which can leave you vulnerable. The Onslaught Shield can be acquired from a legendary chest shortly after Kratos' first battle with Garm in Helheim. However, if you miss the chest, the Huldra brothers will retrieve it for you and place it in the blue coffin at their shop. Number 5. Guardian Shield. The Guardian Shield closely resembles the shields from previous games, with its design heavily inspired by the 2018 version. From its overall shape to the finer details, it stays true to the classic round shield style, maintaining a traditional look without any bold or unconventional design choices. While it may seem like a standard shield at first glance, it remains a reliable and well-balanced defensive tool, offering solid protection in combat. Its simplicity is part of its strength, allowing players to focus on timing and positioning rather than managing complex mechanics. However, there is a much stronger and upgraded version of this shield that enhances its capabilities significantly. I won't dive into that just yet, but later in the video, we'll rank and analyze it in detail to see how it compares. The Guardian Shield isn't bad on its own. It maintains a solid balance between offense and defense. It's reliable for parrying and perfect for players who enjoy a balanced playstyle, as it allows them to control the battlefield while creating opportunities for retaliation. Advantages. Reflects projectiles if parried correctly. Rewards successful parries with 2 follow-up options, a single target strike or an area of effect attack. Disadvantages. Weaker post-parry attack. Compared to the Spartan Shield, its follow-up attack deals less damage and doesn't knock enemies back. No stat boosts. Not very effective against shield strikes. The Guardian Shield is available from the start of the game, but during a certain battle, which I won't spoil, it gets completely destroyed and becomes unusable. However, later in the main story, you will regain access to it. Number 4. Stonewall Shield. The main purpose of a shield is to keep you safe from all kinds of attacks, right? Well, the Stonewall Shield does exactly that, turning you into an impenetrable tank. This shield makes you feel like an unbreakable fortress. In my opinion, using it requires less skill as it effortlessly blocks many attacks. It can be a good choice for less experienced players as it reduces the challenge for them in the game. However, this doesn't mean experienced players will never choose this shield. The shield has 4 charge levels, which fill up when you take hits or successfully block attacks. The more charge it accumulates, the more damage it deals when released. Additionally, if a yellow ring attack hits the shield, it grants 2 charges instead of 1. Advantages: absorbs all enemy attacks like a tank, making it highly effective against groups of enemies. Resistant to yellow ring attacks. It can block them without needing to parry, though if fully charged, your guard will break. Increases V's stat. Fast startup frame, meaning it activates quickly. Unique charge mechanic that unleashes an area of effect attack, damaging multiple enemies. Accessible early in the game. Disadvantages: cannot reflect projectiles. Even if you parry them, they won't be sent back. No bonus attack after parrying. Instead of rewarding a counterattack, it simply charges the shield further. Can be broken by repeated yellow ring attacks. This is especially dangerous against bosses like the Valkyrie Queen, who can land multiple consecutive strikes, breaking your guard and dealing damage before you can fully utilize the shield's charge. Not ideal for stunning enemies. Unlike some other shields, it doesn't excel at building stun damage. The Stonewall Shield is available very early in the game and can be acquired from the dwarves. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a like. Your support helps the video reach more people. Number 3. Shatterstar Shield. Initially, this shield ranked around 5th or 6th place, but after some updates it received major buffs that significantly improved its abilities and overall ranking. Its functionality revolves around charging. You hold it down to build up energy, but if you get hit while charging, the energy is lost. However, if you parry at the right moment, you not only avoid losing charge, but also gain extra energy. Occasionally, a bonus attack is rewarded as well. This shield has 2 charge levels, with the second level providing stronger knockback than the first. That said, the Shatterstar Shield might hold players back a bit due to its defensive nature. To charge it, you must hold back rather than engage aggressively. Advantages: can knock enemies back with its charged state. However, this isn't a unique ability, as other weapons can achieve the same effect much faster. Extra charge and damage for precise usage. If you time the charge exactly when an enemy attacks, you deal an additional separate charge attack on the enemy. Can parry red ring attacks using its charge mechanic. Personally, I found this feature very appealing, though it doesn't always work consistently. Sometimes it's so tricky to use that simply dodging feels like the better option. Performs shield strike from a greater range than any other shield. If, like me, you struggle with shield strike against bosses and often miss, this shield solves that problem with its extended range, ensuring you never miss a shield strike. Increases RNC stat, enhancing all runic attacks and allowing frost and burn effects to build up faster. Fast startup frame, making it quicker to activate. Disadvantages: no bonus attack after a perfect parry. Cannot reflect projectiles with parries, you must use the charged ability instead. Doesn't consistently parry all yellow and red ring attacks using its charge mechanic. Forces a highly defensive playstyle, which can slow down combat and reduce aggression. The Shatterstar Shield can be acquired from a legendary chest in the abandoned village in Vanaheim. Number 2. Spartan Aspis. In God of War Ragnarok, the Spartan Aspis reminds me of the arms of Sparta. This shield, with its classic round design, closely resembles traditional Spartan shields, primarily focusing on defense against incoming attacks. What makes these two shields similar is their strong defensive capabilities. The Spartan Aspis, like the Arms of Sparta, allows players to withstand enemy attacks and create a safe space to counter or reposition. However, while Arms of Sparta is more of a hybrid shield and spear, the Spartan Aspis in Ragnarok remains purely a defensive shield, evoking the legacy of ancient Spartan warfare. You could easily call this shield Guardian Shield Pro Max. It functions similarly to the Guardian Shield, but is an upgraded and more powerful version. The only downside is that its parry timing is much stricter, requiring precise timing and practice. If I were to share my personal opinion on the design of this shield, I'd say it's the best one in this game, and I like its design more than any other shield. Overall, this shield, along with the next one in this ranking, is designed for highly skilled players who excel at parrying and reaction-based gameplay. Advantages: reflects projectiles with extreme accuracy when parrying, knocks back powerful enemies like werewolves after a successful parry, provides 2 follow-up attack options after a parry, single target strike, launches enemies much farther than any other shield, which is incredibly valuable. AoE attack, hits multiple enemies at once, delivers the highest shield damage in the game after a parry. No other shield matches its raw damage output. Best design and appearance among all shields. One of the unique and exciting features of this shield is its ability to keep enemies suspended in the air, allowing you to chain combos and prevent them from ever touching the ground. I've tried other shields as well, but as you can see, none of them can keep enemies airborne quite like the Spartan shield. Keeping enemies in the air gives you plenty of opportunities to land extra hits with other weapons, and if you're skilled enough, you can even make sure they never touch the ground, keeping them suspended indefinitely. Disadvantages: very small parry window, making parrying significantly more difficult. Does not boost any stats. Slow startup frame, making it slightly sluggish in combat. Very late game unlock, only available in New Game Plus. You must reach New Game Plus, complete the Surviving Fimbulwinter Path quest, and then enter Sindri's house in the Realm Between Realms to acquire this shield. Number 1. Dauntless Shield. If you had to choose only one shield to use throughout the entire game, from start to finish, which one would you pick? For me, I would definitely choose the Dauntless Shield. From the moment I got my hands on it, using any other shield felt tiresome. Literally, this shield is so good that it deserves to be ranked even higher than rank 1. Throughout this ranking, many shields changed positions multiple times, but the one shield that never moved from the top spot is the Dauntless Shield. This shield is fast, powerful, and the absolute best for experienced players, especially those who master the parry playstyle. It has 2 types of parries: 1. Normal parry, 2. Perfect parry, which stuns enemies more effectively and knocks them back further. Reflects projectiles when parrying, though not as well as Spartan Aspis. Grants a powerful shield bash after a successful parry, which builds up an enemy's stun meter. The follow-up shield bash can knock multiple enemies back. Boosts the cooldown sealed stat, allowing you to use abilities more frequently. Unlocked early in the game. Disadvantages: might be frustrating for inexperienced players due to its parry-dependent playstyle. Slow startup frame, meaning it takes a moment to activate in combat. Honestly, I couldn't find any major downsides, and if there are any, they're easily outweighed by its strengths. The Dauntless Shield is one of the 2 shields Kratos can acquire from Brock and Sindri after the Guardian Shield is rendered inoperable. Hope you enjoyed this ranking. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more ranking content.